Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'm just going to show you how to make these cute little Christmas gnomes that everybody seems to love online. So I promised to give them a little bit of a tutorial. So hopefully I don't miss anything because this is my first tutorial I've ever done. And I'm probably going to make a mess of it. Anyways, so the first thing we start with is a plain white sock. And we're going to cut it in half, basically straight along here. I have to find my scissors. There they are. So we're going to cut along straight across to the heel. And we're not going to use the top half of the sock, but we can use this if we want. It just means that we're going to be tying the bottom and the top when we fill it with rice. But I prefer the bottom, or the toe part. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this guy with rice, white rice. Don't use any other color or else you'll see it through the sock. And you can use a funnel. I kind of just open my hand up in it and just kind of pour it in. With my scissors. I kind of bounce it down a bit, and then I get some more rice. I tend to get rice all over the place when I do this. And again, give it a bounce down, pump it in. You kind of want them to be a bit fat. The more rice you put in and pounce it down a bit, the taller he'll be. You'll be able to shape them a little bit more. So I'm going to say probably, if I were to guess, there's probably about 3 cups of rice in here, maybe even more. So see, I'm getting to the top. I can still take a little bit more. Okay, so that's probably good. So then I'm going to take a little elastic, this little tiny hair elastic. I'm going to use a black one and a white one. So first I'm going to use the black one. I'm going to tie at the top of his head. I'm just going to bundle the ends up together, and I'm going to take that black elastic and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times and pull up the ends. Now some people like to hot glue the edges here so it doesn't fray, but I choose not to, only because once I put I'm going to be putting a cone on here, it's going to have hot glue on it anyway, so kind of see where I want the nose to be. I kind of give it around. So it's probably going to be right here, so I'm just going to squish in like this and pick up some rice and take my little white elastic and make his nose. Like so. So there's his nose. Now, I use string, just I guess it's called just a craft. This is actually crocheting string. I'm just going to take 2 pieces and I'm just going to reinforce it just in case the elastic gives away by just tying it tight. You're not going to see these little strings, so even if you didn't cut them, that's fine. Being stubborn. Just knot it. I'll give it a 3rd knot, just in case. There we go. And give it a little snip. And do the same to the nose, just in case that elastic gives away. Okay, and then snip the excess off. Okay, so now we've got his body and his nose. We're going to use, now I like to buy these little Chanel socks. Everything I get for this project is from the Dollar Tree. The reason I like these is they slouch nice rather than regular socks. So I've chosen a solid black and a little striped black for his hat. So for his body, I'm going to put him a little, I'm going to cut it in half again, and I'm only going to use the top toe piece. I'll be able to use this piece for something else. Anyways, so let's just put his body on. I'm just going to tuck it on the bottom and pull it up to the top. As you can see, I have the heel part that shows at the back of his body, and I just kind of, so he's kind of snuggled in there like that. And I take a little bit of glue just to make sure that it stays up there. I just kind of give a couple little squirts just to hold it up. And be careful because it can get hot. Already running out of glue. Okay. I'm just going to go around his body and just tie it up there. Like so. Okay, so that's his body. Before I go any further, I take a little bit of this. You can get this at the Dollar Tree too. It comes in a nice little wrap. It's mostly used for like floral decoration. It's kind of rustic. You can use ribbon too, but I kind of like this stuff. And I like his body to stay nice and square, not flat and fat. So I just kind of square him off. And I like to wrap this around. I wonder if I cut that too short. His midsection. I might take a couple pieces and I kind of tie it off to the side, maybe a little bow, or just a knot. Reinforce it with a little bit of hot glue, just so it doesn't untie. I get maybe another one. There's another one. And I can come up a little higher on this one. Maybe I'll just knot this one. Let some come down. I like them to look a little rustic. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there just to hold that knot. So that's him there. Okay, so now we're on to the beard. Now, I pre-did the beard so that the video wouldn't take too long, but all it is a piece of white felt. It's 3 inches this way and 4 inches down in a triangle with a little cut V for under his nose. So what I do on this is I take a Chanel yarn. So as you can see, it looks like a little fur. And all I do is I hot glue little strands going back and forth until I have a beard, like so. Okay, and then of course I'm going to nip that little piece at the V so it goes under his nose, like so. And that's all I do. So you just a little tiny bit of glue going back and forth with a strand of this yarn. You can also use what do they call that? Faux fur, if you want, if it's easier. I found it really hard to find faux fur that was a half decent price, so this was cheap, and I chose to do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue under his nose and then glue him tight here. Okay, so I find it easier sometimes just to hot glue first the nose, like so, and put it underneath and just give it a little push. Okay, and then we're going to hot glue right here. And just tuck that up there. And then the other side. Sorry if you can't see. Okay, so it's glued along here so that it stays on, but not underneath. Okay? It stays flat. So the next thing you need to do is you need some support for his hat. So I chose this little cone that I can get at the Dollar Tree. The problem is that it can't go right on top of that. So I'm going to cut into this just with a knife. I'm just going to do like a little square. Pop that out. Okay. Styrofoam tends to make them out. Get enough out there to accommodate the top of this tie here. So I've hollowed it out. Okay? I'll get rid of some of the styrofoam. Okay, so now whatever's the closest to, so it's going to end up going on like that. So what you want to do is glue it and then kind of just tuck it on. So we're going to throw some glue inside of the hole and then around the edges. So don't forget to get some inside. Okay, and we're going to tuck them on. And I'm just going to hold it there for a moment. So now I've got the cone on top of his head. It's going to stay on there pretty good. Okay, so now that his hat's on, or his cone, we're going to take his hat. So I like the heel to be at the back of his body. Okay, so what I tend to do is I just kind of cuff the sock and take the heel and put it at the back. So let's turn him towards me. Okay, so now he's pretty much done, but we got to glue his hat on. So he has a cuff. Okay, wait, I got to turn that, because I like that to be on the bottom. That's his heel right there. Okay. Now with all gnomes you kind of want it to go around his nose like that. So this is pretty good placement. I mean, I could pull it up a bit. Let me just adjust this so you can see the top of his hat. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to put in hot glue here and here, and then kind of go all the way around, hot glue, and then I'm going to hot glue the cuff shut. So just a little bit of hot glue going around the inner of the cuff. So first I'm going to do here, take my hot glue gun and just glue it, and my glue here. Okay, now I'm going to glue underneath this hat. And go all the way around. And don't forget to glue his cuff, because it will kind of unroll a bit if you don't. Yeah. Okay, so now I don't like it to be like this too much, so I kind of like to put something on the top. Sometimes I'll take maybe just a white elastic, like this, little white elastic, and I'll just tie it on the top like this. So it's not like, so it's kind of pointy, right? So like that, kind of like that. Yeah, sometimes I take a little piece of this here and just kind of, I don't know, just kind of wrap it around to give it kind of that rustic feel. And so, and the one thing I like about these guys is I like to put on some buttons. So I get these buttons at the dollar store too, and I like these wooden ones. So I have 3 wooden ones here. I mean, sometimes I like to put a couple on the hat. I tend to like to do them right about there. So I'm going to put this button on his hat right about here. Right about there. I'm just going to stick that button on. Maybe another button. Yeah, going up a little bit. Oh, a little rustic, eh? I got a 3rd button. If I wanted to, I could take this 3rd one and just put it on the inside of that one. I think the 2 is enough. And that is my little rustic Christmas gnome. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't go too fast for you, but it's fun. And hopefully you can try it too. Thanks. Bye.